All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight on this beautiful, amazing Friday evening. If you're here watching live, it is Friday, March 11th, 2022. If you're here watching this on the replay, regardless of when that may be down the road, stick around. You didn't miss anything. There's going to be tremendous evergreen replay value here because tonight I have a great blog to share with you folks. One that my girlfriend sent to me. She suggested that I do this topic, and the moment she sent it to me, I was like, wow, this is great. And I'm not just saying this because she's my girlfriend, and I'm not just doing this because she's my girlfriend. She really does some great research, and she's really into this type of stuff. She's really into personal development and learning more about what's happening in today's modern dating world. And when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this ASAP. And here we are. We're going to do this here tonight live if you're here on Friday, March 11th, 2022, or if you're watching this down the road on the replay. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. And let me check out the back end of YouTube and see how that's rolling. It's rolling smoothly. We are good to go. Mad Shangy Army is back in the house. It's great to reconnect with you, man. And it was also a great pleasure to have you participate on my earlier Walking with Purpose live stream. That was episode number 244. Folks, after this show, if you need more content to watch and you're really into personal development and you really want to learn how to better yourself and how to get that, how to have that best possible chance, which is what I'm trying to say, on how to get that woman of your dreams, or if you're a lady, how to get that man of your dreams. It works both ways. There's plenty of content. Just go to my YouTube channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Obviously, you're here already. Go to the homepage, which is what I'm trying to say, and just check out the past several streams. Earlier today, I did, when was the last time you admitted a mistake? Set yourself free now. The day before that, I did emotionally draining people suck the life out of you, so don't let them. Another great topic. Couple more the day before that. I did stop self-sabotaging yourself now, or you'll never get what you want. And then the previous day before that, why people come at you and just don't stop. What to do about it. All great topics. If you listen to these live stream replays, you don't even have to watch them. You can listen to them in the background. It will get you in the right mindset, and you will have natural instinct on how to react to things and not react to things, and it will change your life at a personal and professional level. So yeah, go check out my past 4, Walking with Purpose live streams if you need more content to watch after this show or throughout the weekend. I will be doing another Walking with Purpose live stream tomorrow and possibly even on Sunday. So there's even more content to come. And if you have a topic suggestion that you'd like for me to discuss, please go ahead and email me at coacheli@coacheliasmelas.com. The link is below in the description. All right. All right. All right. We're just ready to rock and roll here. Not a whole lot more to say. Let's get this show on the road. And let's switch on over to the browser source. I've cropped this to fit the screen as best as possible. So hopefully you folks can see this. Tonight's topic is today's language of online dating. Today's language of online dating. How to actually get quality dates. One more time, today's language of online dating. How to actually get quality dates. The problem is people not connecting, not being able to connect with people through dating apps nowadays, right? It's about finding quality people that are not going to waste your time. that are not going to use you for a free dinner, right? That are going to take the time to get to know you and then meet up with you and see if there's chemistry. And if there's chemistry there, it's either going to happen right away or it's never going to happen at all. So tonight, I'm going to be going over this blog. And in between, I'm going to be sharing with you folks my thoughts regarding it and how to actually get a quality date that could lead to a potential relationship, whether you're a man or a woman. All right, so let's get right to it. This blog article that was sent to me by my lady is from a site called nextavenue.org. Never heard of it, but now I have. And the title of the blog is Friends with Benefits, Ghosting, and More. Today's language of online dating. One more time. Friends with Benefits, Ghosting, and More. Today's language of online dating. And this was literally written and published just a little over a week ago on March 3rd. 2022 by Carrie Five-Coat Campbell. Here are some tips and takeaways from experts and wisdom from people who have found new partners. All right, let's get this show on the road here. When Mary Potter Kenyon was widowed at age 52 in 2012, she didn't have any intention of dating. Well, you know, a lot of women actually go through that phase. My mother, for example, when my father passed away almost 13 years ago, it'll be 13 years next month, my mother just said, that's it. You know, I'm not dating anymore. I made a vow to my husband, and you know, I'm just going to live the rest of my life spending time with my kids and other family members and friends. And she's stuck by that. And she also has another, we're Greek, so maybe it's a Greek thing or an old school Greek thing, because my mother has a friend that's a little bit older than her, and she lost her husband over 20 years ago at the young age of 50. And she hasn't dated since and has vowed to never date again. Now, you know, some women and some men, I think this is more so a woman thing. I don't know of any man that would want to be alone for the rest of his life, even if the unfortunate happened to a spouse. But, you know, some women are okay with that. And many women may think that they don't want to date again, but then they start getting lonely, or they come across, you know, someone else in a similar situation, maybe a widowed man, and they start talking and one thing leads to another and you never know. But let's see what happened here. You know, she didn't have any intention of dating. It wasn't until 2018 that she decided she might want to be a part of a couple again. Okay. I had this fantasy of being in a bookstore and reaching for the same book as this perfect man, says Kenyon. But I knew that wasn't happening. That's probably her. Wow, they look like a lovely couple, don't they? Kenyon went onto a dating app for Christian singles. I never tried Christian singles. And hopefully I won't ever have to, because I'm with a great woman now, and I'm hoping this is the one. And babe, if you're watching right now, my lady's not feeling too well. She just took some medication, so she may watch the first part of the show and fall asleep. But babe, if you're here, welcome to the show. Thank you for sending me this wonderful article here. And if you fall asleep, we'll talk tomorrow. No problem. No problem. I thought it would be safer, she says, recalling some of her possible matches. Well, there's no difference between dating online and offline. People are people, right? People think that online dating is really, really bad. The truth of the matter is it's actually better and technically easier, because you can filter out people from the comfort of your own home or smartphone, right? From your computer or your smartphone or tablet, from the comfort of your own home. And you can, weed people out without having to get in your car and waste money on gas and time and other things, right? Especially with gas nowadays, at the time of this live stream. March 11th, 2022, gas is over $6 a gallon here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Whew, man. There was this guy who had never been married, had no children, and there was a photo of him holding an Elmo toy. Elmo, wow. So never been married, no children, and he was single. Now, typically that would be a red flag, but I guess in this case it wasn't. Typically when a man and a woman get into their 40s and 50s, if they're single, never married, no kids, it means that, hey, maybe they just, didn't have their shit together, or, just don't know how to be in a relationship, etc. But in some cases, it's just bad luck. That's what it's been for me most of my life. There was another guy pictured in a leprechaun suit, Kenyan ads. I lasted less than a week on the app. There just seemed to be too many weirdos out there. Well, that's true. There are a lot of weirdos out there, but there are also a lot of weirdos in the real world, right? Online dating and offline dating is no different. You just have to filter through the weirdos and get to the good people. There are good people out there. My last 4 relationships, including the one I'm in right now, were women I met from Match.com. And I still think to this day, Match.com is one of the best sites to meet people, because both men and women have to pay for it. And you have to, write a full profile out. And it's a place where you can send long messages. And there is a swipe left and swipe right. There is a swipe left and swipe right aspect of it now. But still, it's more focused on truly getting to know someone compared to sites like, Bumble and Hinge that are quick and, either swipe left, swipe right on Bumble, or X, or hit the check mark on Hinge if you like the way the person looks. Kenyan isn't the only one in midlife and older who has found the world of online dating strange and even intimidating. It can be intimidating if you allow it to be. If you know how to work the online dating world, and you know how to filter through people, and you know what to look for and how to quickly eliminate bad seeds and focus on the good ones, you're going to give yourself a better chance and have a better experience. Older adults, less likely to use dating apps. The biggest thing that's changed since many people over 50 have been looking is technology. No kidding. And how that plays into dating these days. It's pretty much the way things have gone. So you got to get used to it. Follow my channel. Watch my videos and live streams regarding whenever I talk about the dating world and online dating, and you will learn how to perfectly navigate it. It is less likely you're going to meet organically as you might have met your last partner, says Blaine Anderson, a dating coach for men and owner of Dating by Blaine in Austin, Texas. What's the difference between online and offline dating? Okay, a lot of times when people meet in person, like if they run into each other at a club or at a bar, or at a social event or something, a connection, a spark happens that night. It's no different than talking with someone through an app, than talking on the phone and meeting on a first date, and then that connection happens in person and you have a little kissy poo or makeout session, or you hold hands and you enjoy each other's company. There is no difference. Online dating also, online dating and dating apps also allow you to broaden your horizon by extending your area, your search area, right? It used to be in the past that we would only meet people within, maybe a 5 or 10 mile radius within our local city or the surrounding few cities within our counties, right? But now we can extend our radius to 50, 100 miles or as large as we want, right? So I think it's even better as long as you know how to navigate it properly. Okay? Online dating currently seems to be the norm for younger generations. A Pew Research Center study conducted in 2020 revealed that 86% of Americans under 49 had used a dating app, and 33% of those people entered into a committed relationship with a person they met on an app. Yeah, and I am a success to that as well. I mean, to the people out there that think it's impossible to meet a good person through online dating, you're wrong. You just haven't tried hard enough. You haven't created a great profile with nice, high-quality pictures, most of them being full length, full body. It amazes me to this day, you know, before I started seeing my lady 6 months ago when I was on these apps, to this day, women are still using headshots, and they're not putting any full body pictures. Or what are you trying to hide? Just be honest. If you're thick, you're thick. If you're thin, you're thin. But show yourself completely from head to toe on 3 or 4 pictures. Then maybe a couple of headshots. Make them all high resolution. We all have high resolution digital cameras and cell phones nowadays with high resolution cameras on them. There's no excuse for the piss poor quality of pictures I see on online dating apps nowadays, right? And write a good profile and be honest and genuine with what you're looking for. And that's going to give you the best chance to stand out. Let's see. Although it's estimated 64% of people over 50 are single, only 32% of adults 50 plus had used a dating app, and only 12% reported having been in a committed relationship with someone they met online. Yeah, there are a lot more single people in this modern world compared to the past. And we'll get more into that in just a little bit. A lot of women are, nowadays that women are working and they've been liberated, they're more career focused than family focused or relationship focused. And a lot of women just don't realize how much of a toll their job takes on them, to the point of where they have limited patience to get to know people in the dating world. And that's why they're not finding the right person. These women are bombarded with things to do regarding their work. And so they're quick to judge with guys on these online dating apps. And that's why they pick the wrong guys, and it never works out, because they don't take the time to get to know one guy. And plus, women are bombarded with many more options than men. They're getting hundreds of matches a day, and they're struggling to focus on one or two to truly get to know them, right? You've got to narrow it down to 1 or 2 people, guys and gals, and really focus on getting to know them if you want it to work. A guide to today's online dating language. Not only do people have to learn how to market themselves, says Anderson, they also must learn acronyms and slang associated with online dating. Well, I don't believe in those acronyms, and that's why I really wanted to go over this blog post tonight. That's why I thought it was a really great blog posting, because these acronyms are BS. These acronyms are millennial lingo. And let me tell you something. Which generation do you think is struggling the most with dating nowadays? It's the millennials. And the millennials, no disrespect, it is just the truth. They are the most spoiled and entitled people in our world's history, right? And they changed the way they look at the dating world. And quite frankly, when I was single, any woman that would use the majority of these slangs, I would immediately just ghost them, because I wouldn't take them seriously. A woman that is really into a guy for the right reason is not going to use slang. Is going to use proper English. Is going to represent herself as a smart, intelligent woman. Is going to have high quality pictures. A few headshots and maybe 3 or 4 full length shots. Some outdoors, some indoors, right? Some casual, some maybe a little fancy, right? Right? But this slang stuff, it's got to go. And we'll get to that here right now, actually. Here are just a few of the current buzzwords. Catfishing, we've all heard of that one, right? When someone isn't who they say they are, they may be using an old photo when in reality they are now 10 years older, or the person they are pretending to be doesn't exist at all. Another more sinister term used for this is a scammer. Scammers may try to get money or something else from you. Well, catfishing and scamming are 2 different things. Catfishing is what was said in the beginning here. When somebody is using older pictures that are 5 to 10 years older, or 5 or 10 years, old, or even older than that, which is what I'm trying to say. And, they look different. Maybe they were a lot thinner and in better shape than they are now. Maybe they had a full head of hair back then and they no longer have a full head of hair. Now they're bald, they shave their head. Nothing wrong with that. I have a shaved head. But, if you now have a shaved head, put it out there. I've even gone as far in my profiles in the past when I was single, and I would put, hey, I have a shaved bald head. Some women like it and some don't. I want to be upfront so I don't waste the time of any woman or waste my time with any woman that's not into guys with a shaved bald head. Just be honest about it, right? So yeah, and I didn't even know what the word catfishing meant till a few years ago when I heard it for the first time. It's kind of a childish sounding word, but that's what it is. It's people that put up pictures that look completely different than the way they look in person today. Just be honest, folks, with the way that you look, because if you get to know someone and you're talking through a dating app, then you talk on the phone, and let's say you're a guy and you have older pictures where you're in better shape and now you're out of shape, right? And a lot has changed with you. And let's say the woman really likes you and you meet and you look completely different. Do you think that woman's going to miraculously just overlook the big lie that you created with the way you look and just, forgive you and move forward because she felt that great connection? No, just put out your real pictures. DTR, define the relationship. I've never heard of that. But yeah, nowadays there are many different types of relationships. We have hookups, we have FWB, friend with benefits, we have the word casual, right? Casual relationships, which is nothing serious. We have LTR, which is long-term relationships, right? Then you have women say, when you ask them, what they're looking for, they say, well, I'm looking for a best friend, and if it turns into a relationship, that's great. Those are women that I've said before, and I'll say it again here tonight, are a bit guarded. A woman is either looking for a relationship or they're not. When they add, I'm looking for, a friend, and if it turns into something more, into a relationship, I would love that, right? I mean, come on. What woman wants to be just friends with a guy when they're looking for a relationship? So you get a woman that puts that in her profile or tells you that when you ask her what she's looking for, I would definitely move on from that, or at least ask them. And if they say, yeah, no, I'm actually looking for a relationship, I just, don't want to make the wrong choice. If you ask them and they're cool with it, continue getting to know them. But if they continue to emphasize, I really want to start off as friends, I want to take things real slow, that's somebody you're going to be wasting your time with. They're just not ready. IRL, in real life, as in meeting in person. Yes. We started hearing the acronym IRL many years ago. Yep, in real life. Yeah, you have to, take things into real life if you want dating apps to work. Some people just are just fascinated by just, chatting back and forth with men and women. And, if you want to make something happen, you got to take it to the phone. And there are a lot of women nowadays that don't even want to talk on the phone. I won't meet anyone. Well, in the past, I wouldn't meet anyone. I'm not single anymore. I wouldn't meet anyone back then if they wouldn't talk with me on the phone. Any woman that's really into you is going to want to talk with you on the phone if the conversation's going well through the dating app. And then you hear each other's voices, you talk for half an hour, and if it goes well and you feel a good connection, a strong vibe, then you meet as soon as possible later on that evening or by the next day or at the latest by the upcoming weekend. If you take too long, if you take more than 5 to 7 days to meet, then that connection is going to go poof. So you gotta move quickly, and you gotta hang around with people, or you gotta take chances with people online that are willing to move forward quickly. If they're not willing to move forward quickly, they want to slow things down, then they're really not ready. Just move on and spend your time with someone that's going to want to move things forward. Slide into DMs or PM, taking your conversation into direct or private messaging. Yeah, a lot of women, when I was on dating apps, would put out their Instagram, which I believe is against the terms of service of all dating apps, but they still put it on there. And they're trying to get you over to Instagram to build up their following so they can market to the thirsty beta males, right? So honestly, if you're on a dating app, never let a woman, guys, women more so do this than men. Guys, never let a woman, revert you, to another site or move you off the dating app to another site. If they're going to move you off, if you're going to get off the dating site or dating app, you want to go to your phone, but not onto Instagram and sliding into their DMs or PM. You're already private messaging through the dating app. Why would you want to go to a different platform? Just get to your phone, ask for her number, and if she gives it to you, text her, and then get her on the phone, and then set up a date and see how it goes in person. Booty call hookup. Well, we've all heard that. Meeting up for a sexual encounter only. There are people that do that. Typically, Tinder is the best site for that if you're open to something casual or want something casual. That's not what I, promote here or help people with. But hey, if that's what you want to do, just be honest about it and go to a dating site or dating app, in this case, like Tinder, where that's primarily happening at. LTR, like I said a second ago, long-term relationship, as in seeking a committed long-term partner. Yeah, that's pretty common now. Nowadays, it's like, you talk with women on these dating apps, and they don't even say, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. They say, I'm seeking an LTR, right? Even the older women, when I was single, before I met my lady, even the older women, in their 40s and 50s are using these acronyms now because they're so bombarded with messages. They want to get back to everyone as quickly as possible. And that's why people use acronyms. For me, the women back then that used the fewest acronyms and wrote things out showed more effort to me and made me feel like they were actually more interested. The more effort a woman would make based on how lengthy their responses were and the fewer acronyms they used, the more interest I believe they had. Okay, let's see here. Give me a second. We are at 27 minutes. 86 out of dating. This person is no longer available or ending their search for a partner. Well, I've never heard the term 86 out of dating. But, when you 86 someone, that means they're out, right? So I guess, maybe that person found that special someone, or they just gave up on online dating, or they're taking a break. All right. FWB, like I said a little bit ago, friends with benefits is a no strings attached friendship plus an intimate relationship. Yeah. A lot of people nowadays start off as friends with benefits, and then it turns into something. I guess you can kind of say every relationship starts that way. I just don't like to look at it that way. Like, I, would never be intimate with a woman unless I had an emotional bond, but that's just me. And I've always been a relationship type of guy. So for me, even though in the very beginning, and there's no commitment, for the first month or two as you get to know each other, if you're exclusive, I like to look at it as more than a friends with benefits. I like to look at it as somebody that I'm dating at a serious level. I'm enjoying their company. The intimacy is great. And, at the beginning of a relationship, as a guy, your job is just to, take the woman out on a date, hang out, have fun, and hook up. That's all you need to do is set up a date, pick her up or have her meet you somewhere or whatever, hang out with her, have a lot of fun with her, maybe go to some dinners, take some hikes, walks, etc. And then, hook up and have some great intimacy, great loving. And then when the woman is ready to take the next step, she will make you aware about, where you stand, and she'll want to move the relationship forward and talk about the commitment. As a guy, your job is to not talk about the commitment. That's the lady's job. When she brings it up, if you're ready for it at that time, then agree to it. You're all good. That's all it takes. Ghosting. Yeah, this is the term I've heard for the last few years. And ghosting is happening like crazy nowadays. When someone establishes communication but disappears without explanation. This is something that you all have to get used to and expect. Okay? Women are connecting with a lot of guys, and guys are trying to connect with as many women as possible. And if you're a reasonably attractive guy, even an average looking guy, you're going to get a decent amount of connections. But you also have to realize that women are probably getting 10 times the connections that you're getting, and they're bombarded. So you have to be patient. You have to also understand that even if something seems to be going good with one woman, right, she's talking to other guys and she's trying to figure out which one is her top choice. It may end up being you. It may end up being another guy, okay? And then she may end up ghosting you, not talking with you, or even removing the match or blocking you. Don't let it get to you. It is what it is. Don't get upset. Many people get upset over one person. You have too many options nowadays to get upset over one person. Just keep moving forward, keep trying, and eventually you will find one person that will work for you. I promise you, as long as you keep a great attitude and you don't get upset and you're patient, you don't double text women if you're a guy. Guys, the biggest thing, do not double text a woman, okay? Meaning that, there's nothing wrong with sending 2 messages consecutively as long as, it's within the same time period. But if you text a woman through an app and she doesn't get back to you within like 5 minutes, don't immediately text back and say, did you get my message I sent to you 5 minutes ago? No. Give her time. Give her time. And if she doesn't respond to you for like a week or two, right, and you're still single at that point, you haven't met anyone else, at that point you can send one follow-up message and say, hey, just wondering if you're still on the app. It was really nice getting to know you. I wanted to just check in one last time if you're available and you want to get to know each other. That's like the follow-up. That can work at times, but just don't ever double text immediately if you're a guy. The woman, let her do what she wants to do. It's not going to affect you guys. Trust me. It's different for men and women. All right. I was going to go to a certain point and then take a break. So I'm going to go over this last part here, then take a quick break and come back to finish up the last part. All right, let's see here. Give me a second here. Adding context to the online dating language. Okay. Erica Kaplan, a senior matchmaker and vice president of 3-Day Rule Matchmaking in Philadelphia, addresses the concept of ghosting. Unfortunately, this is very relevant to online dating because people forget they're dealing with another human being. I don't recommend doing that ghosting. I recommend treating the other person as you'd want to be treated. Well, Erica, I agree with you. And I don't think anyone really wants to ghost anyone. I think people do it because they are overwhelmed, especially women are so bombarded and overwhelmed with messages on dating apps because the thirsty beta males overly inflating their value, and those guys swipe right on everyone without looking because they're desperate, right? That, women have to ghost, to clear up their matches and filter out, from 500 or 400 or 300 matches or whatever they have down to 5 or 10 that are the most attractive and appealing within the profile as well. And then they can focus on narrowing it down to 1 or 2 to really hone it down to the one person they want. So while I agree and I think ghosting, is technically rude, I do understand why it happens, and it didn't bother me when I was on the dating market because I understood and I understand why it happens. It happens because men and women are overwhelmed with matches, more so especially women, like I said, because women are getting a crap ton more matches than men. So yeah, the principle of the matter you're stating, I agree, but Folks, ghosting is going to happen, and you've got to expect it. If it happens, just take it with a grain of salt. All right, just wasn't meant to be. I've got 5 other matches. Let's see if another lady wants to, talk and meet up this weekend or whatever, right? Keep a positive attitude. That's going to stand out too. And also be very patient. The patient guys will always win in the end. She adds that in addition to learning to market yourself online and recognizing the new language of dating, people must also know what they are seeking and be honest. That is the thing, right? One of the biggest annoyances I had in the online dating world when I was single over 6 months ago before I met my wonderful lady I'm with now is women, were not completely truthful about certain things. Couple examples. I came across 5 different women during 5 different times that were reborn Christians, also known as reborn virgins, meaning that they were looking to date a man that would be okay with not having sex with them until marriage. And all of these women never put that in their profile, but they would always put, many references to God or Jesus. Now, I'm a God-loving man, and I love God and believe in God, but I've noticed, in the modern world, there are a lot of women that are like Bible thumpers, right? And they'll say, God this, Jesus this, right? And when you get women like that, you have to automatically assume that they're not going to sleep with you until, they're married. And guys, don't be afraid to ask women about that. And, don't be afraid of offending them because, a woman that's open to intimacy before marriage, as most women are, and that's the way the world is nowadays, are not going to get upset, right? And a woman that wants to wait until marriage, you can cut it off right there and spare her the heartache of wasting her time and spare yourself the heartache of wasting your time, right? So, that's one thing, where I feel, women need to be more honest. I mean, men need to be honest about everything too, but that's just one example there. And then, there were many women in the past when I was single that would state they wanted a relationship, and I would start talking with them, and I was open and honest and just being real and genuine. And because, I was a good guy and I'm a great communicator, even through typing, a lot of these women would say, you sound too good to be true. Are you for real? And then they would think about it for a day, come back and say, on second thought, Eli, I'm not really ready for this. No, that's BS. They're ready for it. They're just scared because they've never come across a guy like me that's so honest and truthful that they think I am BSing them to try to get in their pants or something, right? You're going to encounter women like that, guys, and even ladies. You may encounter, guys like that. You got to get to the point as quickly as possible. You got to be honest with what you're seeking and what you want and what you don't want. And don't be afraid of getting ghosted or rejected. Just be honest with the person and be yourself. And they're either going to accept you or they're not. If you pretend to be something you're not because you're thinking if you're yourself, they're going to eliminate you, then, you're showing that person somebody different. And even if they accept you, they're going to be accepting, something about you that's not really true. And eventually they'll find out the truth and it won't work out anyway. So spare yourself the heartache and just be honest. Like this lady is saying here. What's her name? Erica is saying here. For example, a friends with benefits relationship may not necessarily be a bad thing if you're just trying to get back into romance, says Kaplan. I mean, if that's what you want, honestly, a friends with benefits compared to something like casual or a hookup, I think it's one step above because at least you're doing that with the same person and you're actually building a bond there. And a lot of times, friends with benefits become more than that. See, the friends with benefits thing is a way of saying, okay, I think you're cute. You know, she thinks you're cute. You think she's cute. You like each other's company. Maybe you're both busy at work and you don't have the time for a relationship, or at least you think you don't. Or you've had bad luck in the past and you just don't want to commit, but you still just want to hang out and have some bedroom fun, right? Okay. But basically, it's just a way to test the waters out without the commitment. But hey, when you're first starting to date someone, even if you go on a second date and you start sleeping together, isn't that the same thing? So why even call it friends with benefits? Just call it dating. And if it leads to something more after 2 or 3 months, it happens naturally. But yeah, you want to call it friends with benefits? Sure. I think that's steps and leaps and bounds above just a casual hookup or one-time hookup, right? It's just important both of you are on the same page. True. As long as you, the man, and you, the woman, are looking for the same thing, you communicate it, and you're honest about it, there you go. No problem. Many people over 50 are looking for a non-committed companion or someone to travel with. Okay. Yeah, just be honest about it. Don Burnett, a divorce lifestyle consultant in Orlando, Florida, says it is important to make a list of the qualities you're seeking in a partner, but to keep an open mind. You know, you have people out there nowadays that want to make a list about everything. And I've never really made a list when it comes to what I seek in a partner. I already know in my head and my heart what I seek in a partner. And I know, that this woman I'm with right now has all those, requirements or things that I seek, right? If I was single, I would know what I'm seeking in a partner. And when they would come along, I would just know. I would feel it, right? Just like I did when I met my lady. So, I don't know if you necessarily need to sit down and write down all these qualities. I think that's more of a thing that women do. And then what women do is they write down 100 things, and most of the things on that list are very unreasonable. And then, most guys, don't qualify, at least on half of those aspects. And then boom, it just makes it more difficult for the lady to settle for someone. So I don't think a list is necessary, but if you want to make one, that's on you. You should already know what makes you happy naturally and with instinct. Okay? Let's see again. It is important to make a list of qualities you're seeking in a partner, but to keep an open mind. When I met my partner, I had an idea of what he should look like, but he surprised me, she says. He was attractive, but wasn't what I had in my mind. Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and attraction goes beyond just looks. It goes as far as charisma. It goes as far as sense of humor, the way the guy carries himself, right? Okay. Attractiveness is overall. Sure, you have to at least be somewhat physically attractive to your partner, but more importantly is your personality, how you carry yourself, how you dress, how you smell, okay? The vibe you give off, be cool, calm, and collective. Don't come off thirsty, needy, or desperate. Just hang out and relax, and don't rush anything. Just be natural. That's it. All right. So I'm going to stop right there at 43 minutes and step away and take a quick break. Let's go back to full screen here and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Boo-doop boop, boo-doop boo-doop boo. All right. What are we going to play today? Do. Oh, yeah, I like this song. We're going to start it off with this song here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm having a hard time picking a song tonight, folks. That's 2. That's 3. Just need one more. Do 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 do. Let me see here. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for about 9 or 10 minute break or a little bit less. And when I come back, we're going to wrap up the blog. Today's language of online dating, and I'm going to continue sharing more on how to actually get quality dates. So stick around. Oh, hold on a second. We have the Shangy here. I had to approve that. I didn't notice that, Shangy. Women on dating apps are deluded. There's a lot of unattractive women that think they're 9s or 10s. No, you're right about that, bro. You're right about that. And that's because the thirsty beta males overly inflate their value. But keep asking your questions, and I'll answer more in between the rest of the blog when I get back. So stick around, stick around, stick around, round. We'll be right back. yeah, we're back. Yeah. 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 Feel it. Feel the energy up. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. I feel fantastic tonight. How are you feeling tonight? The weekend is here. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And yes again. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. Glad you could all join me here tonight. If you're here live, it is Friday, March 11th, 2022. Hope you're all having a great start to your weekend. If you're here on the replay, enjoy this evergreen content. More of the blog, Today's Language of Online Dating, is coming right up, the second half, and we're going to share more thoughts about how to actually get quality dates. All right? You missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay because I went over a bunch of the fancy acronyms that are used nowadays. And I got to tell you guys and gals, if you're, communicating with somebody online and they use a lot of acronyms for quick responses, you have to take that as low to no interest. Someone that's really, truly interested in you is going to make more effort. The more somebody writes out a well thought out response, the more chance there is that, they're truly interested, and you should focus your time on that. And the less interested with more acronyms, don't focus on those people. That's the way to not get burnt out through online dating or dating apps. All right, before we get back to everything, I want to remind everyone once again that this channel is primarily funded through crowdfunding, aka also known as donations. If you'd like to make a donation in any amount, you could do it in one of many ways. Here on YouTube, you can go below to the bottom of the chat and click that $sign and select either super chat or super sticker. You can send a super chat, which will put a highlighted message at the top of the chat for a certain amount of time. The greater the super chat, the longer it stays highlighted at the top of the chat. If you'd rather just send a super sticker and you don't feel like typing something out, and show your love with an animated Giphy expression, you can click the super chat. Also, Nightbot is sharing my PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes or so in the chat. You can make a one-time donation to my PayPal or Cash App. Also, for people on the replay, that link is below in the description, or those links are below in the description, my Cash App and PayPal links. Donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. If you're someone that's on a tight budget and you can't afford to send a donation, or if you're just a cheap-ass bastard and just want to be a blood-sucking leech, that's okay. I still love you too, and I'll still help you because I love everyone. And I know when you give without expectation, more comes back in the long run. So that's the way I like to do things, and that's the way you should do things too in this wonderful modern world today. Allow people to get to know you, and when they're ready to support you, they will just do it naturally. All right. Again, tonight we're discussing today's language of online dating, how to actually get quality dates. So let's go back to the browser screen and wrap up the final part of this great blog that was sent to me by my lady. All right. Back in the dating game. Burnett says she was ready to 86 out of dating. Another one of those fancy acronyms I read during the first part of the show. It was in the first part of the blog. And I've never heard of it, but it makes sense. 86 out of dating. Quit dating. Okay. as she had been at it for 12 and a half years and gone out with well over 100 men. Wow. When her partner, Paul Desjordins, whom she'd been coaching on his dating prospects, asked her out. Wow. So, wow. So this is the problem nowadays. Over the last 12 and a half years, this woman went out with well over 100 men, with no disrespect intended. How many of those guys do you think she slept with? I will guess at least half of them. That's a lot of partners to have, right? And you're telling me out of 100 dates, over 100 dates she went on, she couldn't find someone that was dateable long-term? I mean, that just shows how extremely picky women are, right? Extremely, extremely picky, okay? And how old is this woman? I guess it doesn't matter because, you know, a lot of women nowadays, when they're going to college in their 20s, they're focused more on their studies and they're either not looking to get into a relationship or they just want to have fun, right? And they're going after the top tier guys, the 9s and 10s, like I always say, the Chads and Tyrones. And then they try to lock down the Chads and Tyrones, but those guys just want to have fun. And it never works. Then women get in their 30s and their biological clock is ticking and they can't find a guy that they want to settle down with, right? So they end up settling for the beta male provider that they're not attracted to. But it's just hard for me to believe that out of 100 plus men this woman went out with over the past 12 and a half years, not one of them was good enough to settle down with. Ugh, I'm not buying it. Are you? You shouldn't. That's part of the problem. That's a major problem nowadays. All the women, even the 5s, 6s, and 7s, and the 8s, want the 9s and 10s in men, right? Right? Like 80% of the women want 20% of the guys. And there's very, very little flexibility. There are some women that are flexible and good women, but they're hard to find. But that's what's happening nowadays. I was so focused on finding a soulmate, and it's more about finding the person you click, which she explains. Huh. Really? So you were so focused on finding a soulmate, and it's more about finding the person you click, which she explains. You mean the Chad, the buff, very attractive, in such great shape Chad that is a jerk and doesn't want to settle down with you and is only going to use you for sex regardless of how old you are? That's just hard to believe. 100 plus men, and she couldn't find one that she clicked with? BS. Burnett cautions people to never deviate from the list of their own deal breakers. Huh. Well, let me finish reading this and I'll tell you what this means. These might include a potential partner being honest, a good listener, or someone who validates your feelings. However, she says you shouldn't have unrealistic expectations. Well, ma'am, if you've gone out with over 100 guys in the last 12 and a half years and you haven't found one to settle down with that satisfies you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that means you've got a ton of unrealistic expectations. You're being a hypocrite. That's the bottom line. And earlier, there was a lady that was stating in part of the blog that you should write a list of what you want. Well, that's why I say don't write that list, because especially for ladies, they'll write a list of 100 things, and it's virtually impossible for any man to even reach half of that list, right? Unrealistic expectations. So she says here, however, you shouldn't have unrealistic expectations. Well, ma'am, you should live by your own words. Everyone at this age typically has baggage, but it is the way they handle it and if they've got their life together, says Burnett. Wow. As Burnett's own example illustrates, it is important to also develop patience in finding the right match. Ma'am, 100 plus guys in 12 and a half years? you weren't looking to settle down. You were looking to either have fun or you were just overly picky. You know, she must be a very attractive woman. And maybe she, was married for a while to maybe a beta male or something like that. And then, she got herself in really good shape, maybe dyed her hair, maybe used Botox and looked really good. And she was very, very attractive and getting a lot of attention. And she was just probably loving the attention. Maybe she wanted to see how many guys she could get. But I'm not buying this again, that, she went out with over 100 guys in 12 and a half years and couldn't find one to be the one. Come on. Not buying that. There's a quote on the left. We met for 2 hours and our next date lasted 9 hours. It was like we had known each other forever. You know what? That's typically how, my dates go that end in the relationship. That's how it went with my lady I'm with today. We met for a couple of hours. We hit it off first night. And the second night, we spent the entire night together, got a nice room, and it was amazing. And we were together for longer than 9 hours. We were together for like almost 24 hours. It was beautiful. Kaplan says, everyone at this age typically has baggage. Okay, I already read that. Kaplan says, be prepared to invest about 12 hours per week in looking at profiles and answering messages. It is a lot of work, almost like a part-time job. She says, well, that's what should be done, but most people are shortcutting the process. If you want to find the right person, you have to look at it like a second job, and you have to put effort into it. And if you're really interested, ladies, in one guy, or guys, you're interested in one lady, you got to communicate in complete sentences. Don't use acronyms. Show the person that you're making some effort. Okay? That's what you need to do. So I agree here. It is a lot of work. It is it's almost like a part-time job. Yeah, I agree. Couldn't have said any better myself. When the pandemic hit in 2020, Kenyon, who works from home as a creativity coach and grief counselor, decided it might be time to try dating again. Oh, okay. It's time to try dating again. Give me a second here. I met my son's girlfriend, whom he met online, and I thought I'd give online dating another try, she explains. Okay, good for you. Let's see what happened. Kenyon went to a site specific to her religious denomination. Wow. She was about to give up again, and 24 hours from quitting when she met Nick Portzin, 68, a widower of 3.5 years. He was visiting family in Arizona, and on his way home to Wisconsin, he wanted to come and meet me, says Kenyon. We met for 2 hours, and our next date lasted 9 hours. So that was the quote above there. It was like we had known each other forever. Well, that's nice when it feels that way. You had a great emotional bond. The physical chemistry was there. The spiritual connection was there. The mental stimulation was there with great conversation. Wonderful. They married in August 2021, 2 months after they connected and settled in Du Bois, Iowa. I mean. That's a little too fast. Now, okay, at 68 years old, when you're in your late 60s, I can kind of understand getting married after 2 months, but I think that's way too soon for anyone to get married. They should have at least waited a year, right? Because here's the thing. People can hide who they really are for about the first 3 to 6 months of a relationship. So getting married 2 months after they connected, it's a little too fast in my opinion. But hey, if it works for you folks, it works. Best of luck to you, but I highly discourage that. That's just way too soon. Way too soon at any age. Let's see here. All right. Folks, get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. This is the final section here. We're going to be going off the air probably in about 10 minutes, 15 at the most. 6 final dating tips. Anderson says the 3 most important things to do when you are ready to start dating are to build a great profile. Absolutely. That's the most important thing. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you need to get at least 6 pictures on there, all in high quality, high resolution. Use your iPhone, your Android, or use a nice digital camera. Okay? Take high quality, high resolution pictures, wearing nice clothing, looking at your best, well groomed, not scruffy, right? Even if you're out hiking, wear some nice hiking apparel, right? Take nice pictures with a nice background. Take at least 4 full body shots where people can clearly see your body type. That's important, okay? And take a couple of clear headshots as well, smiling and all that, right? Okay? And also write a great profile, okay? Write as much as you can. Some apps limit you, right? But write as much as you can and be honest about what you're seeking and what you're not seeking, okay? And remember, grammar and spelling count, so put effort into it, okay? Invest the time and commit yourself once you choose a dating site. Exactly, okay? You're not going to find that person after one day. You might get lucky. I mean, anything can happen. But more than likely, you're not going to find that person for a little while. And you may talk with 3, 4, 5, or even up to 10 other people, between, messaging on the app and talking on the phone. And at one point or another, it may seem like it's not what you're seeking. Sometimes you connect with someone, you like each other's pictures, you send a few messages through the app, it seems to be going okay, but then you get on the phone, and for me in the past, it's been women sounding like a dead fish and not trying to contribute to the conversation, right? If a woman is really into you, she's not only going to be excited to hear what you have to say, but she's going to be excited to share things about her without you even asking, and ask you questions and keep up that energy. A lot of times in the past, I came across women that just had no energy on the phone. And if they have no energy on the phone or any excitement, they're not really feeling it. Move on. Move on. Okay? And for women that don't want to talk on the phone and just meet you, I wouldn't meet them. Okay? There are many women, I don't talk on the phone until after I meet someone. No. Then guess what? Best of luck to you. Right? Right? The phone is one of the best ways you can find out if someone is worthy of meeting. You can hear their tone of voice, hear how excited they are, right? If they're not going to give you that, then it's not even worth meeting up, right? They're trying to hide something, or they're trying to shortcut the process. You want someone that's going to make as much effort as you are. Okay? Some of the men I work with say they feel they've already had their love and it won't happen again, says Anderson. Well, that's not true. Those are just angry and bitter men that are jaded, men that, give up after 1 or 2 women reject them, Everyone gets rejected. Men and women get rejected. You got to just put those rejections behind you and keep moving forward. So, if you encounter men like that or women like that, guys, that are coming off jaded, angry, and bitter, and they're coming off like guarded and, I'm just not really into this online dating thing, then why are you here? Why are you wasting my time? I want to talk with someone that's enthusiastic about online dating or dating in general and really wants to get to know someone, right? Don't come off negative at all. Be positive, okay? My advice is that it is not always easy, but there's always time to find another love. Exactly. You just have to keep pushing forward. That's it. There are so many fish in the sea, eventually you'll find one. Even if you keep getting rejected 5 or 10 or 20 times, that 21st person could be the one. It's happened to me before in the past. When I found my lady, I was getting close to giving up. I was feeling that. I was getting burnt out. But then she came along and that changed everything. Had I given up, I would have never met her. So don't give up. Don't give up. Give me a second here. All right. The experts weighed in with these final suggestions. Only work one app at a time. There's no need to be signed up for many. Paid apps may give you more people committed to the process, but aren't necessary to find someone. I can agree with that to a certain extent. When I was looking for my lady, in the past I had only been on Match.com, but when I was looking for my lady, when I was single and looking to find someone, which is what I'm trying to say before I found my lady, I was on Match, and I also got on Bumble and Hinge. And I'll tell you what was interesting. There were a lot of women that I had encountered on Match that then at that point had gone over to Hinge and Bumble. It is funny to me. And I talked with these women through Match.com, and they were interested in me, but they were so guarded and wanted to take things slow and just, weren't letting the natural flow of progression move things forward. So I basically just, ghosted them, right? So then when I encountered them on, Bumble and Hinge, the same women, when I saw their profiles, I immediately swiped left, right? And I eliminated them because I wasn't surprised to see them there because they were attractive women, but, they're just not open to giving someone a chance. And I know I'm a good guy, and my lady knows I'm a good guy, and my lady knows what these women missed out because now she's getting all that, right? Right? So, one app at a time, sure. If you're going to, in my opinion, if you're looking for something real, Match.com is the best. You can also try Bumble and Hinge. Hinge is probably better than Bumble. But I think Match.com is the place where you should invest your time in and go through. You can actually send about 100 messages per day on Match, and I would go through and do that because it's a numbers game, guys, and not every woman has a paid membership. I would also pay extra on Match.com, $9.99 a month extra to purchase the reply for free feature, meaning that women's profiles that you message that aren't paid members will be able to reply to you because you're paying for them to reply to you, right? So you give yourself more chances that way. And then if Match.com doesn't work, which it should eventually, then try Bumble and try Hinge. There's no need to be signed up for many. Paid apps may give you more people committed to the process, but aren't necessary to find someone. That's true. It only takes one person on one app. You just have to come across that person. And it's about timing and just finding someone that will look at your pictures, you'll look at theirs. There's an instant attraction. You like what each other's profiles state about, each other. And then when you start communicating, it flows seamlessly through the texting on the app, then to the phone. Phone conversation is great. Then you meet and it just takes off. You meet, you give each other a hug, you kiss, and then it just goes from there, right? Now, if you're looking for something, like a hookup or something, which I don't endorse here, but that's up to you, then maybe an app like Tinder will work for you. And even Bumble, there are people on Bumble that are seeking just hookups, but it's more so, hookups are more so happening on Tinder. Don't text or PM for over a week. Take it to the phone or video chat to make sure there's some chemistry before meeting in person. I disagree with that right there. Okay? This is saying don't text or PM for a week. Now, I wouldn't private message or DM. I wouldn't hook up with these men or women on any other site besides the dating app and then giving them your phone number and texting through your phone. There's no need to go to Instagram or another place. And honestly, if things are meant to be, you should be able to text each other right away and set something up. Now, don't overly text, right? Okay, guys, if a woman is interested in you, you ask her for her number, and then, you tell her, hey, if you'd like to talk by phone and see how that goes, and then possibly meet if that goes well, please send me your number, and I'll text you to arrange a call. Then you get, then if she gives you her number, then, maybe 2-3 hours later or so, you're probably busy working anyway, right? Send her a text and say, hey, this is Bob, this is Eli, whatever. It's great to connect with you off the app. When are you free to talk by phone? And then set up that phone call, hopefully later that night. You got to keep the process moving forward. And it has to be boom, 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 because everyone has a ton of options, especially women. So I disagree with this crap here. Don't text or PM for over a week. Take it to phone or video chat to make sure there's some chemistry before meeting in person. I agree. And I prefer to take it on the phone. I think video chat is not necessary. The picture should be good enough. In the past, women that were adamant about video chatting were afraid of being catfished. And basically, those are the women that are too picky on looks, and I wouldn't give them the time of day. Phone conversation is fine. But if you want a video chat, that's on you. Investigate them online. Google their name, look at their social media, and if they're widowed, even Google their late spouse's obituary to make sure they are who they say they are. Yeah, most of the time, I have a background check program. And when a woman gives me their number, that's why women are leery about giving their numbers nowadays, because you can put their number in a background check and pretty much find out most things about them. Those background checks aren't 100% accurate, but they're accurate enough. And as long as you look them up just for your own safety and you don't, harass them or blast their information out online and stuff like that, look them up and see, if they have any criminal history or anything. And, that's that. Now, some women will use Google Voice. I use Google Voice to protect myself and my family. And there's a lot attached to my background, obviously. So I don't want, when I was single, I didn't want these women to, I didn't want the wrong women to know things about me. Now, the right woman, like my woman, now knows everything about myself and my family. But she's the right woman, right? So, yeah, and people use a Google Voice. Unfortunately, that's not something that's going to return a background check. But if they use their actual cell number, in most cases, you can find their information. So anything you can do to give yourself better knowledge of the person, that seems to be good, and you want to make sure before meeting them, if that information is available through a background check and their number, then sure, take advantage of it. Whatever you can to make the process easier for you. Just don't misuse the information. That's the only thing. If you feel uncomfortable with the process, pay a monthly fee and do full background checks. If your gut says something is wrong, trust that. I've got a background check that I have an app and I pay for it monthly, and I found a way to get a really good deal on it. It's normally like $40 a month, but I'm getting it for $9.99 a month. Okay. And it's real simple for me to run background checks on anyone. And there's nothing wrong with running a background check on anyone, even a business partner or anything. And you don't have to tell them, as long as you don't misuse the information. It's just for your own knowledge, so you know a little bit more about who you're dealing with before you get involved with them. Okay? So I agree with that. Always meet the person in high traffic public place for the first few meetings. Never give them your address or agree to meet at their home. I think you need to get a good idea if somebody's trustworthy or not between texting a bit and then a phone call. And if it feels right, then you should meet in the public place. But at the same time, you got to meet at night, and you got to meet in a public place where you also have some privacy to see if any kissing or, affection happens. It is important on a first date to be in a position where you not only feel comfortable, but there's an opportunity for some kind of kissing or romance to happen, because if not, more than likely, you're not going to have a second date. That is important, okay? So I get that you need to be somewhat cautious, but you can't be too cautious to the point of where you're going to stop things from progressing forward, right? Okay? Red flags include not being able to locate any information about the person online. Most everyone has something about them on the web. A reluctance to take the conversation to phone or video chat, and asking for money. Well, here is the thing. There are a lot of people that actually don't have a lot of information online because they never wanted to put stuff online due to people being able to search and find them easily, right? So you can't sit there and automatically rule people out that you can't find information online. But you can get on the phone with them and ask them some questions and see how open or reluctant they are to answer those questions, and gauge how they are, quite simply, okay? Women that I've talked to in the past that are not open to talking about anything and everything by phone before meeting are trying to hide something, and those are women that you should just not meet. So just go for it. on that phone conversation, and you'll be able to tell if they're worthy of meeting or not, or if they're trustworthy to meet in person or not. Okay? All right. So before we get on out of here, just a little bit more about this blog author in case you want to look her up. She's on Facebook, Twitter, and she has an email, but I'm not going to share that. Carrie Five Coat Campbell is a full-time freelance writer and author living in the Ozark Mountains. She is the founder and administrator for the public Facebook page Years of Light, Living Large in Widowhood, and a private Facebook group, Finding Myself After Losing My Spouse, dedicated to helping widowers move forward. Read more. Okay. Well, that's it right there. All right. And that's going to wrap up this show here. We're at 1 hour and 27 minutes. Go back to full screen. It looks like my lady probably fell asleep because she hasn't texted me. I know she would if she was watching. That's okay. She hasn't been feeling too well. She's resting and getting better. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. I did 2 streams today. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you need more content to watch, go to my homepage and check out the last 4 previous Walking with Purpose streams before this live stream here tonight. Lots of great topics. I'm here to help you all get what you want. I'm not here to tell you folks what to do. I'm here to help you get what you want by sharing my experiences and what I struggled with and what I failed with initially and how I turned it around to find success personally and professionally. So, with that being said, until tomorrow, have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye. And as always, be good to each other. Bye. Bye.